What's going on, y'all? This your boy Atmos Love Zone live once again. So, sitting here just, you know, listening to the other side and hearing how they are spinning this motion situation. It's good to hear what the other side is saying. Okay, it's always good to know what your opponent is thinking. For some reason, this lady chooses to take shots at a brother who's not here to defend himself. Some other things she's saying. We're gonna listen, kind of do commentary on some of the things she's saying because it's really it sounds very desperate when you listen to how they are trying to spin the narrative as far as this case is concerned. Now, before Larry did go to take care of his business, he did tell us that these next few weeks are going to be crazy. You're going to hear a lot of things that's going to blow your mind. You're going to hear a lot of narratives that is out of this world. Earlier, watched Will Eady. Seemed like a good brother, at least when it comes to spiritually. He's sitting at the park, chilling. And all of a sudden, the lawyer that says that he is wanting to be removed from the case is right across the street eating dinner with his family in enough of a radius to where Mr. Eady could call him over from his table to come over and get in his live. Mr. Eady says, "Hey, make sure y'all take care of my brother, man. Help my brother." What does Greenberg say? "We're going to help him. He's an innocent man." What do you expect him to say when his best friend is right there on live? It's a lot of R. Kelly supporters that are extremely mad at Greenberg. He's there with his family. It's a safety issue. He's totally just raw out there. Didn't know he was probably being recorded until he told him, "Hey, you live. You better say the right thing." What else do you expect him to say? If you honestly think that Greenberg is going to give all of the information over to lawyers that he feels as though are incompetent, idiots, and should not be a part of this case, you done lost your mind. Okay? He's not going to put his reputation on the line for them. And that's pretty obvious because he don't even want to work with them. All right? But let's listen to a couple of things and see what y'all think.
Where they're talking about sex trafficking. You have the parent, Tim Savage, and his wife, and a young lady by the name of Sharon Brown, who is ambassador for sex trafficking. This is how much research I've done. Who is an ambassador for sex trafficking there, and also the lawyer, Griggs, whatever his name is, and then you have Pastor Jamal, Pastor Jamal, all right? You hear Griggs talk about how all the girls was of legal age and they had to come up with a plan. They had to come up with something to be able to get Mr. Kelly. Okay. They start.
Okay, so right there. Let's dissect that. Her words were, they had to come up with a plan to get Mr. Kelly. No. What they did is they had to get away from the notion that people would think that these girls were all legal. He's a superstar. So it should be a normal thing that he has a bunch of girlfriends at the house and that they should just kind of get over it and mind their own business. But anyone who knows him and knows his track record knows that he has a history of sleeping with children. So when you have that type of stigma attached to you, it doesn't just go away just because time has went away. People still remember what you were accused of before. Now, that is heightened when you have a daughter or a child who is involved with a man who is alleged to be sick in the head and alleged to be attracted to little girls with little girl body parts as a grown man. Let's continue to listen.
Out here, right here in Georgia, where I live, back in 2016, I remember it was on the news. Every time I turned around, they kept going to Mr. Kelly's house, and it kept saying that he was holding the daughters hostage. It was Tim Savage at the time. Angela was not part of it because I'd never seen Angela at all. I used to see Tim Savage on the news, and they used to talk about it. It was local news here all the time because I was at the gym one time, and I happened to see it. I'm like, oh, my God, they're still bothering this man. That's all I kept saying. And then the girls was on the news saying that they were not held hostage, and they kept saying there was the supposedly parent was saying that there was held hostage, and it kept going on and on and on. That was in 2016. I remember it was like around October, November, around that time. And then he turned around, he moved, he went to Chicago. And I thought all of this was over with because, I didn't hear anything else about it.
Let's talk about this being held hostage thing. Let's break it down, okay? As a parent, we're thinking as parents right now. Your child is your child. That's the child that you raised, right? If you don't have unlimited access to your child, unlimited, for any reason at all, and they are in a situation where there is no easy access or easy bridge to communication, and you have security, and you have a gate that is keeping you from being able to freely see, check on, communicate, and conversate with your child, that is the pure definition of being held hostage. Pure. As a parent, that's your child. I don't care if they 18, 19, 20. That's still your baby. I got a 19-year-old daughter right now. Let me call her, baby, what you doing, how you doing, and I can't reach her. And I know she was some dude that won't allow her to just come and freely see me. Freely call me on the phone. When I call, I got to go through all this kind of riffraff just to talk to my daughter. I'm going to think, you either got her physically hostage or you got her mentally hostage. You see, he may not have had bars on the doors in their rooms where they had to have a key to open up the door for them to open up to be able to get out and go. But you can mentally entrap a person also. You can say, if you really want to continue to live this life and not go back to being with your poor parents and be living this lavish life with Birkin bags and riding around in the little the little cars on the street and going to the mall unlimited and buying the fur coats and walking with me in the star and being all that? You want to go back to the boring life, or you want to stick around and hang around and travel the world and get penthouses? What life you want to go back to? If you going back there, I'm cutting you off and putting somebody else in your place. So you can go back to being regular, or you could be one of my main two girls. What you want to do? And by the way, I don't need you talking to your mom and your daddy, because I don't need them putting all that noise in your ear, and then you coming back to me telling me what they telling you. I ain't trying to go through none of that. No drama. You mine, you do what I tell you to do, when I tell you to do it, how I tell you to do it, and I don't give a damn what you think. Your feelings don't matter. Only mine do. Know what's your choice? What? What'd you say? You said daddy, right? Oh, okay. Get your ass in the room. If you don't think that you can hold a person hostage mentally, which transfers into the physical, what do you think mental abuse is? How do you think that it was possible, or it's possible for somebody to be locked up and a person is still scared to leave them? Because they got connections. They can reach out and touch you away from you. You know how many women hold on and, oh, I'm going to hold it down for you, baby, while you locked up. And will be held hostage as if that person is right there. Because they got you mentally. When you got a person's mind, you have them. When you can get right here, when you own this, oh, everything else is yours. You got them. That goes for men, that goes for women. Let's continue.
Later on, I found out that they were trying to do the case in Georgia, but Georgia's law is that the consensual age of is 16, so they couldn't bring any charges here. So what they did, they went to other states where the age was totally different. Okay, I'm gonna tell you something in regarding to that young lady, Azriel. Okay, remember, according to the documents in February when Robert was arrested for the state case, there was 6 individuals. None of them was her, right? And then, lo and behold, they started doing an investigation. In fact, June 2019 is when New York actually started the indictment, the grand jury indictment. But instead of New York picking him up, Illinois ended up picking him up. So, but the reason why New York is going first, because New York is the one who started the whole thing, but Illinois is the one that actually picked him up. And so Illinois' cases came in July, and New York case started in June. It's in the documents, okay? This is stuff I'm giving you as factual, okay? The case started in June, but Illinois picked them up, and Illinois kept them there, okay? At that time, that young lady was not part of the case. I'm telling you, she was not part of the case. In fact, right around July of 2019, you saw her in different, she was doing different outfits, changing, and she's doing dancing on this thing, and she was going out with the other one, the young lady, Joycelyn, because it was Joycelyn's birthday. We're gonna do a celebration. In fact, she went on her what is that thing? Snapchat, whatever that thing is, and she was ranting about that's R. Kelly, that's her man, her baby, blah blah blah. Remember? You guys remember that? How she was like, "Oh, I love him," and that. You know how she was doing all that, right? She was not part of the case. She was not. Lo and behold, right around October, June. Well, in fact, she was going visiting her family in June, because when I was in Chicago on June 26th, they had a hearing. That was for a state hearing. She was not there. She was shopping, because I remember somebody had asked. She was shopping somewhere, I think in New York, and then the other one was in California. One came in, one came out. They were living their life, y'all. They was having a good time. Okay, and then turn around July, he gets arrested, and she's out. She's having herself a good time.
Okay. Quick question. You have to look at a person's traits. You have to look at a person's past routine, habits, in order to determine if they've changed their movements, their routine. If you don't think that he didn't think, I really don't want these girls around this stuff, maybe we need to have them shopping and have their minds on something else. I need to remind them of what they could miss out on by not sticking by me. If you don't think there was any strategy in having them out shopping during some of these times, you're a fool. Let's move on.
She's doing this, and then lo and behold, she goes to Vegas in around October, and then lo and behold, there becomes a superseding indictment in December. The superseding indictment occurs. Now remember, she goes to Vegas, and the guy, the grown man, goes and persuade her, right? Change her.
Lady, keep Larry McGee, grown man, name out of your mouth. He is not here to defend himself. You don't need to bring his name up. Now, just because he's sitting down doesn't mean that people won't snap your head off over here for coming after our brother. Don't think that we are weaker just because he is going to take care of some business. We far from it. As a matter of fact, we are growing. I will not allow you to sit there and talk about him in a negative way just to bring pleasure and amusement to your people in your chat. We're not going to do that.
Because you heard it from his own voice. He said that he played the Surviving R. Kelly for her, and she cried to him, and he showed her this, showed her that, and basically persuaded her. So because now she's become a scorned woman. She's become scorned because she's believing that everything that Mr. Kelly was telling her was a lie, because this man persuaded her that.
No, the reason why she believed that everything he told her was a lie was because everything he told her was a lie. It's the truth. If there was nothing to show her to prove that what he was saying to her was a lie, there would have been nothing to change her mind about. Period. So stop putting out that false narrative that he just totally took a wand and invented and created a narrative that made her come to her senses and say, what the hell have I been doing all these years dealing with a man who's doing these things behind my back? Stop with that. That's corny. That's lame.
That Mr. Kelly's not who he claims to be. That he has this woman, that one, because I think he played more on her emotion of her being a woman. She's already competing with Joycelyn. Now she has to compete with all these extra women that this man is bringing about, telling this happened, this right. The reality of it is she never experienced that because, according to precedents, if you guys have seen precedents, she was talking about all the good time.
In my opinion, precedents was a joke.
They were having all of this happen. They were shopping and this. And what about the good time? What about this? What about that? Then turns around, Mr. Kelly decides to remove her from the visiting list. Not only what the other guy was putting in her ear, was people barking in her ear was happening, now she has some reality check that now he's taking her off of the visitors list. So, whoa, this scorned woman is mad now. She's raging because what? As women, we have a problem when our man is with somebody else. It's like, oh, I'm going to get him. I don't care. He lied to me. He's not what? Okay. Scorned woman. If supposedly Mr. Kelly was supposedly all that you claim him to be, why did you have to persuade this woman to change her mind and then be added to the superseding indictment? Why?
That's a dumbass question. Why wouldn't he want her to know the truth? Why not? Why not tell her, hey, listen, you're going to do whatever the hell you want to do anyway, but I just want you to know the truth about this is really what you are going on in public and fighting for. You're fighting for a man that is doing this to you in front of the whole world. And you and Joycelyn are in this little bubble of happy birthday cakes and candles and sweet roses and Skittles and rainbows. And you think that everything is so pure and happy around this man. And really it's not. So before I allow you to continue to make yourself look like a total idiot, let me show you what's really going on. And if after I show you the truth, because I love your dad, I love your family, I love you. After I show you the truth, if you decide to still go back to that, then you can't say I never told you.
Did she have to be added to this superseding? And they're claiming that she's not in it. Y'all, she's in it. Based on my observation and my research and based on the stuff they're saying, and I followed through where she met him in a certain month, and I put two and two together and got the number 5. Okay? So, you persuaded this woman because you wanted a deal, which you end up getting a sweet deal because you're not serving the full time that you're supposed to serve because you helped the government to get more ammunition to try to get Mr. Kelly. Because they don't have a case, so they have to build a case. They have to bring people in.
What? Hold on. Hold on. Did she just say the government don't have a case? First of all, they have cases with an S. They have a long ass laundry list of cases. They have over 100 devices of cases. They have over 100,000 pages of information that leads to cases that spread decades back. And by the way, you, lady, and your compadres over there are another reason why his sentence was reduced, because y'all decided to send all these letters in and harass him and harass his pretrial services and group up together and get all into the thing and get on there just to, on his one day when he gets to go before the judge to get his sentence, you all want to go in there just to remind him to say, hey, don't forget us. So all the stuff y'all did, harassing this man, getting him kicked out, posting his family, doing videos, looking up his information, family's information, landlord's information. And you wonder why he got a lower sentence? For y'all harassing and terrorizing this man's family? And the government don't got no case.
Because everybody really, it's more of women being upset because they're not the one. They're not the only one. That's what it's all about, y'all. It's about women who are scorned. They want this man. A lot of you guys go crazy over.
So all of this is about women that are scorned. It's not about him sleeping with children. It's not about him bringing children over state lines. It's not about all of the allegations. It's not about the, good grief, the obstruction of justice. It's not about none of that. This is all about women being scorned because they can't be the one. Really? Is that really the conclusion that y'all are trying to spin and pour into a bowl and give to all of your people so each one of them can take a spoon and eat out of that same idiotic bowl? That is the reason why that man is locked up, is because of a bunch of women who are mad because they couldn't be number one.
Mr. Kelly, I'm just being honest, y'all. I'm being honest. Some of you girls, ladies, y'all crazy for Mr. Kelly. Y'all will drop those drawers in a minute for Mr. Kelly.
And so the hell will you. So will you. You are an extreme, super duper fanatic over that man. So point to yourself too.
I'm just telling you. I've had people coming after me. You know, like the flower pot. The flower pot want Mr. Kelly too. Okay. So flower pot attacks Sylvia all the time. I don't want Mr. Kelly. I got a husband. You understand what I'm saying? I got one. You know. So I'm not one of those people that want the man. I want him free. I want him to live a regular life. That's what I want. Okay,
First of all, don't no married woman who loves and is all about their own husband gonna send a picture of their nipple to another man to get information that they think can help another man that they say that they're not obsessed with or fanatic for. Please. You're not going to publicly humiliate yourself, your husband, your family, your name, and your profession over putting out nudity to a man that you don't even know. Because you don't want the man who's locked up. you got to get up earlier than that to sell that to us, especially over here.
No desire for Mr. Gillen. I have a hubby, okay? Hubby that's just like gonna get me because all of this extra stuff, you know, I'm already in trouble with all the stuff that I've done already, right? I'm already in the doghouse because of the Demetrius stuff and all that, you know. Okay, so now she has become part of the case. If he is so bad of a person, why do you guys have to put all these people to come together to try to get this man? He should be gotten on his own from his own action, not you guys putting stuff.
He is being get on his own action. Didn't nobody transform themselves into him and decide to sleep with little kids? He did that. He put himself on video. He even adjusted the camera to make sure that the angle is perfect so you can see all of the creases and the curves and the perfect demographics of his face to say, yeah, it's me. What are you talking about? We can sit here all night and totally depict and take apart everything that they're trying to do and the narrative they're trying to put on that channel. But over here, we listen. We know better. So I just want y'all to know that we winning. We are winning. Over and over and over again. We're going to continue to read this paperwork. We're going to continue to learn about this case. And we're going to continue to listen to the other side to see what kind of ways they're trying to spin this thing into a perfect spiral of nothingness. I want y'all to have a blessed night. Free Larry McGee. Ahala.